How's it going, everybody? Mason Bruner here with REISift, and we have Mr. Kevin Hernandez with us again today. This guy has been doing all sorts of stuff with us over the past couple of years. We've had him in vlogs, we've had him speak at our events, and now we're going to actually do a case study with him. He's a great example of an REISift user and a great example of utilizing the power of REISift. So we're going to get right into it. We're gonna go right into it and talk about what was real estate like for you. What did it look like, feel like before REISift?
Before REISift, I remember downloading as many records as I could from, data providers. And my idea was just to, churn and burn. And I knew that the more people I spoke with, the closer I could get to, finding deals. But that's what everybody else was doing. Little did I know. And I knew that there was something missing, and I just didn't know what it was.
Okay. So then you join Sift, and what does life look like, feel like now inside of your REISift or inside of your real estate business?
After I found Sift, it, completely changed my perspective on a lot of things. I always had resonated with like the wrong numbers and not interested, the filtering out of that. So it helped me revamp the way that I was doing SMS. So I was able to basically piggyback off of the, what do you call it, the reason of REISift into
Sure.
other CRMs, and then eventually those two integrated together, and it just became a very seamless part of my business. So it just helped me really organize and categorize the things that I was already doing, and then of course have a little bit more clarity into the marketing that I had already done before.
Awesome. And we're going to get into it in a minute, talking about his SMS setup. He's kind of just like a whiz when it comes to SMS. But I guess, we talked about, what you're doing now, but what was it that actually made you start using Sift? Was it just the clarity that it provided, or was there like a defining moment, or did someone tell you about it? Like, how did that process go for you?
That has been like a void in my mind for so long. I have even gone into like my Facebook on the group. You can see when you join, and I was like, what was I doing around that time? And it may have been by accident. I
Really?
was doing some webinars with, Smarter Contact, as their ambassador. So one thing they did was, join as many Facebook groups as you can. And I think RSF was just one of those groups. And
Ah,
just the community was really what stuck out to me. And I was like, okay, well, what is this? You know, this CRM that, because before that I was using something else. What was it? I used Podio, and then there was another one that I can't remember right now. But um, I dug deeper into it, and I was like, yo, this is like revolutionary. This is something that could really help me out, especially with the volume that I was doing, sending 5,000, 10,000 messages a day. And I was like, if I could, use this, then it could really simplify the things that am already doing as is. And then I just did I remember as soon as I started, I was like, well, it's kind of like a very steep learning curve for a lot of people. And I think that's why so many people give up, and they give up, rather quickly.
yeah.
So I remember just, well, let me give it my best shot, and let me pour myself into it. At the time, I, wasn't doing as many deals, so I had a little bit more free time. So I was able to do the automated lead gen challenge, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
after I did that one, did the go no go challenge. And Tyler was talking about all these things, and I just picked the things that resonated with me the most, and and utilize it to my best abilities. And from there, just kind of you just build step by step, 1% better, right?
Right. And I think I know what your answer will be to this next question, but I'm going to ask it anyways, just for the sake of asking. But what is for you been the biggest benefit that Sift has brought to your business? I think it's probably. I'll wait and see.
The biggest benefit, the biggest benefit. you keep the hottest leads closest to you with Sift. You know, you can just click a few buttons, boom, boom, here they are, you know. So for me, it's just having that clarity, you know, like, okay, I do have a bunch of uncontacted, but how about the ones that I've already spoken to where, you know, maybe I already have their price? You know, those are the people that I think
Right.
are are just like what do you call that? Like cherry picking, you know, low
Yeah.
hanging fruit.
You're right, right.
So that's honestly that's what it is. What did you think it would be?
I thought you were gonna say the integrations, but it works
Oh,
out perfect because my next question is, what's your favorite feature slash integration with Sift?
uh all the integrations, well, I wouldn't say all of them because I don't use all of them, but the
Right.
ones that I do, Smarter Contact, of course, was the biggest
Yep.
integration that I was waiting for.
Yep.
That one was great once it happened, and then before that, I was doing it manually. I had like processes and you know drawings and everything for it. So, and then after that, I uh, added air call, and the air call integration was just like another revolutionary. I was like, damn, it can't get any better, right? And then actually, smartphone this year, it was like, boom, you thought you knew something? Nope, you
Yep.
don't know nothing yet. So, yeah, those are the three that I still use. You know, I do use air call still, and I do use smartphone. So, those are the my top three. You know, if it was number one, probably be smarter contact. Number two,
Right.
smartphone, and three, air call.
Okay. What about features? Usually people keep saying Sif line. Is it for you? What would it be?
I do like Sith line. I probably could dial into it a little bit more, just like anything else, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest feature that I've been waiting and waiting and waiting was the one that was just released was direct mail. I have been wanting to do direct mail, but honestly, I'm lazy and I wanted something that was convenient and like at the touch of my fingertips, you know, a couple clicks away. And the beta, you know, the direct mail went out with the the drip sequence that you can
Right.
set up, and it's just super great. Now I can just, you know, refill my balance or budget for a month ahead of time. Okay, and then I can tell my data manager, hey, this is what you know the budget is. Let's look at what we're going to work on, and you know, especially with the first to market stuff, these are the ones that we're going to go after X amount of touches. And it's just really cool to have it all in one place now. So, and I didn't want to do, I mean, of course I knew of other mail houses, but you know, for me, it's not that I'm not getting any deals. So I was like, well, you know, when it's convenient, of course, I'll go ahead and do it. You know, and now that it's here, it's just very fulfilling.
Awesome. Good. Bringing into the next question. I feel like again, since I know you so well at this point, how has REISift provided you support?
Support. Jessica texts me every once in a while if I need anything, and that's great. You know, one thing that sets a lot of companies, right? When you think about companies in wholesaling or real estate or you know restaurants or you know any kind of industry, you know software industries, it's cool or it feels at home when you feel like you know the other person or the person on the other side, whether it's the owner or whether it's the support team, customer service team. So with Sift, that's something that you know I feel at home. Like I know that, and it also probably gives me a little bit more patience because if something happens, I'm like, all right, well, I'll send them a message. You know, when they respond, I know that they're doing their best to get back to me. It's not like, I'm getting angry. I need a message right now. People need to answer my phone call. You know, that's not this huge ego being inflated from it. So it just you know, we're all on the same playing field. You know, I can see everybody eye to eye. So that's really great when it comes to the support. And then of course, you know, when at the beginning it was really great to have those challenges that Tyler had
Right.
um, created. I'm sure he still has them, but about you know understanding the product better. Of course, you know that you know there was a premium attached to that, but rightly so because instead of trying to figure it all out, here's a way that you can you know watch a few videos, do some exercises, and and get to know more about your business.
Right.
So all of those things is kind of like the DNA of REISift, in my opinion, where a lot of other softwares don't do that kind of thing. They're not doing these extra things to help people feel at home. It's not a cash grab. It's like, all right, this company genuinely and sincerely cares about their users, and they want the best, based off of, these principles or values. So it's great to see. It's very refreshing. And I think that's why the core members of Sift, the people that have been with Sift for years now,
Mhm.
um, that's why, we're kind of like diehard. It's like, we'll go
Right.
to bat for RESF.
And I think the competition's becoming more stiff for you, but I'd still say you are Kylie's number one fan.
Yes, Cali is great. And it's cool to feel like what's going on in the office, on a day to day. And I think that's really special part about it.
Awesome. So you mentioned a little bit about first to market. You mentioned a little bit about, your SMS. I'd like to get into, kind of what your primary marketing strategy is, what your approach is to that. And if we could just hop into your Sift account, throw the blur feature on so we hide your data a little bit, and just kind of show us around what it looks like inside your Sift account and kind of how you organize your stuff. And I think that'd be really helpful for anyone watching this. All right, man. Yeah, take us through, kind of what it looks like for you and how you organize your data, kind of maybe your Sift line boards. I know that it's not something you're super in tune with, but I'm sure there's still some valuable resources. Just kind of walk us through it. Like,
So,
what does a day in your marketing kind of feel like?
I do use SMS, right? And those people from like Smarter Contact, they have basically they get pushed directly to me. So it's not,
Right.
sometimes there's some things that, I try to keep simple. So they get sent to me, through Skype where my team and I communicate.
Sure.
But I do like using the Sift line for my cold callers, as
Uh-huh.
they are talking to people, right? For those people that answer the phone, which one of them were not interested, and I want to be able to see them. So as we can see, Angie had spoken to 117 that turned out to not be interested. Um, that answered the phone, but they're not interested. So it's kind of like boom, boom. And then, for example, the people that answer the phone, but they're just not there yet, we follow up with them on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly level. And then, of course, a yearly. So people that say, I'm not interested right now, my cold callers will actually ask, well, can I circle back to you, next week or next month or whatever the situation calls for. And it's all time bound, right? The only constant is change. So we know that over time things will change for the homeowners that they're speaking to, and down the line, they do send some of these to what I call the pipeline, which is really, where the deals come.
Right.
And needs offer too low, under contract. This is actually the one that you went to, where I
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
showing you around. So I probably need to just move that to close. But
Mhm.
that's what it looks like for my cold callers. And then so these are the, just something simple, nothing too crazy. But I think for whenever you're talking to your VAs, right, that are doing cold calling, you never, for someone that's new, right, a new investor, there's a lot of anxiety, from many different origins. So you don't want to micromanage, but you also want to be informed with what's going
Right.
on. And the SIF line helps clarify that, so that you're just having them move it into a different table to figure out who the people were and where they were at. So if they say, I spoke to 10 people today, um, you'll be able to say, okay, where are those 10 people at? Well, just go check the SIF line, and here you go.
Right.
So you can, set it up this way. I'm sure there's many other ways to do it. And then let's see, Jane, she has not, she's new, so she hasn't been using this
Sure.
one. Urgent and exhausted. So We are trying to work on a way to prioritize these, especially when they're coming from first to market. So we do first to market probate, and we just started doing on Monday first to market on the Frankenstein list.
Okay.
So we have to figure out a way to make sure that I can kind of figure out where they're going and what's happening to them. But other than that, that's really what my Sift line looks like. There's not,
Sure.
there's a lot of opportunity there, of course, and that's the beauty of Sift. You can kind of grow
Yeah.
into it, and with my wedding coming up next month, I've been like putting this on the back burner. But for December, these are some of the things that I'll be masterminding around. Like, all right, let me think about the processes that I have in place that will help me scale my business, going into the next or the new year, so that and especially with it being slow season, this is the kind of thing that you want to focus on, is like the processes
Right.
and the steps. So I'm glad that you kind of made me take some time out, because otherwise I'd just be on the phone,
Yeah.
calling.
So for you, so Sifline for you is primarily keeping your cold callers organized. What for you, what does it look like when one of those follow-ups or not interesteds become a lead? How do you manage that?
They and they come into a spreadsheet and into an Excel
Perfect.
sheet. But then also when they do become uh, you know, a lead, we'll call it.
Mhm.
I try not to use the term lead in the system.
Sure.
So, I just call it a pipeline, which
Okay.
is, for those of you that don't know, that's a custom status that you can set. And then I can come in here, right, over time. There's 12 pages, so how many are per page? A 10. So 120, we'll call it, records that are in my pipeline. People that have answered all 4 questions, about regarding timeline, price, reason for selling, condition of the place. This is what I was meaning, or this is what I was referring to earlier, where, all right, let me just, I can push these over smartphone, and then just boom, boom, follow up. Yo, hey, we spoke last month. I'm not sure what happened. Just want to circle back to you about that property on Fenton Way, and see if maybe I can do something with you in the coming new year or before the year ends. So it keeps it nice and simple, you
Yeah.
know, um, all in one place.
And that's something we've been noticing as we've been doing these case studies is, some people's are wild and elaborate, and other people's are just a couple things. And it's both of which are organized, but it's all up to the person. Like this Sift is customizable for anybody. And I think that's important that we're showing it. Like for you to say, like, hey, I don't call things leads in my business. That's really interesting. I'm sure there's other people out there
Mhm.
that do something similar. So it's cool to see your perspective on that. Is there in like the past year or 2 years or whatever, even with Sift, is there a deal that really stands out to where like the power of Sift really kind of, you know, just stood out for you?
There is one that I just closed on last month. Yeah, last month. Let's see. There we go. Oh, let me change this to close. So I bought this property, and one thing that's great about Sift is just being able to figure out where the lead came from, and when you got it, when you purchased it. So, people, one annoying question that I get so much is, what list are you hitting? What's the best list to get a deal? It's just, for me, it's so annoying because it takes no thought to ask that question. It's just, let me just ask it, and because what difference is it going to make? I'll tell you, oh, get a divorce list as an absentee owner that's vacant, that's tax delinquent, that's going through probate, that has had a code violation, that also went to jail. Like, how are you going to find all of that? So this is a super simple lead, and that became a deal. I got this, but it goes back to the processes, right? frequency and when you do that frequency, right? So originally I got this from Bad Credit. So Bad Credit is something that I download from this website that's $50 a month. $50 a month, and you can download as many records as you want. And it was uploaded into PropStream because it's like really raw data. So PropStream with the list automator really just puts it into a format that I can upload into Sift. So I skip traced it with Smarter Contact, and that was all in April of last year. Well, what I do is, obviously, as soon as I do all of that, I put it in marketing. Well, one thing that I like doing is, if I go into my records, just to kind of show you, I have, for example, the Bad Credit, what I was just showing you. So uncontacted Bad Credit is kind of my, all right, the people that have absolutely no status, right? Which basically means to me that they have not been contacted. You know, they do not, my VAs and anybody in my company does not change the status of a record until they have made contact with them, and then I can pull up the call recording. So I click on this, and it's going to remove any kind of possible status in here. And oh, is there none right now? Oh, it's probably because I have this address in here. But in short, I can just do this every so often. Like, okay, when people ask me what list do I hit, well, I hit all of them. I hit all the uncontacted ones in my account, you know, that have a number. And here they are: Bad Credit, drawn for dollars, out of state, absentee, probate, prospecting, undelivered, uncontacted probate. You know, just so many different ones right in here that I can just come in. And of course, if you hit the drop down, there's a quick stacking of them.
Yep.
With other kind of pain points. But what I really loved about this deal was that I just told my VA, hey, let's pull up uncontacted Bad Credit. You know, we're gonna get a deal. And you know, with Bad Credit, just especially in summertime, people are already thinking about, you know, the holidays. Like, let me save up this money, X, Y, and Z. And so we hit this list in August. Yeah, August, and we got this deal. So you know, we close on it. It's gonna be a great deal. Here, let me pull it up really quick so that you can see. Oh, we just closed on it September 28th. Okay, so we got it in August, closed September 28th. Really, you know, it closed in like 21 days if I remember correctly. And I got it for 280. You know, his estimate still says it's like worth 375. So you know, this lead cost me, you know, very, very little, and I got it last April. So just stick to a process. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, and the list doesn't really matter. You know, whether it's Bad Credit, probate, first to market, whatever, X, Y, and Z, is just consistency, 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 and your processes just have to reflect that consistency.
Awesome. Well, that's perfect, man. You said pretty much everything I hoped you would. This was an amazing call. You keep proving why you're standing out in the community. I say it every time I record with you. It's probably getting old to you, but to me, it's exciting to be able to say that over and over and over. Like, dude, you've come a long way. You're crushing it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share with us your experience. And we look forward to all the kick-ass successes you're going to have here in the future.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be able to help the community out. Just keep things simple and not try to sell somebody on some very complicated idea when it really just comes down to uploading data into Sift, organizing it with Sift, doing the consistent marketing, keeping track of how you're doing over time, and, you know, just taking action. So it's just that simple.